Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a bombshell report to share with you guys today, and that is this. Over 4 years ago, Bill Gates warned the world that millions of people could die as a result of a bioterrorist attack. Then, in 2019, the United Nations published a report, and this report is called UN Document GEO Global Environmental Outlook. Now, in this report, the United Nations also warned of mass death that could hit the earth, and this was also published in early 2019, right before all hell broke out with the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to show you one quick section in that UN report, and it's on page 142, and here's what it reads. Biodiversity is in crisis. There is a well-established evidence indicating an irrevocable and contending decline of genetic and species diversities and degradation of ecosystems at local and global scales. Scientists are increasingly concerned that if anthropogenic pressure on biodiversity continues unabated, we risk participating in a sixth mass extinction event in Earth history, and it will have profound impacts on human and health and equity. This is massive because this is the United Nations saying, if you don't follow these certain policies, then all hell and death will break loose, along with Bill Gates. The two kind of go hand to hand. Now, with me on today's broadcast to discuss some of those death dates, if you will, spoken of by both Bill Gates and the United Nations, is Ronnie McMullen with GetTheTea.com. By the way, if you don't have his tea, I really want to encourage you to check this stuff out. And right now he has an amazing special on his tea products. Check this out. This is his latest one. It comes with the tea, the Essential Bees, and the Mineral Plus. And these minerals are so very important because they help calm the nervous system. But you can get that special pack at a massively discounted price here on my show right here on YouTube. So make sure you get there. And again, this stuff, I'm not even joking here. It literally saved my digestive system. I had a pretty messed up one for quite some time, and this has really regulated me. So check it out at getthetea.com. So Ronnie, I know I kind of rambled on a little bit. Are you with me over there?
I am, and no, you didn't ramble. It's a lot of reporting to do, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, we are living in some very special times.
That we absolutely are. So what do you think of these early on, if you will, reports of warnings of mass extinction and warnings of death by the United Nations and Bill Gates? What do you think the agenda is there, considering everything that happened today and recently with the pandemic and the lockdowns and the economy and all of that?
I think there's a code in the upper echelon, and that code basically is we're going to tell you what we're going to do before we do it. And we can see here with these reports that they're telling us kind of what they're doing before they're doing it. And a lot of people, they're pushing the fear issue because fear takes the immune system down. So if you have a lot of fear, your immune system goes plummeting. And the more immune system that is down, then basically the common cold can hurt you pretty bad, if not kill you. So they're very smart at what they do, So the kicker is here, what do we do to combat what they do? Because obviously we're going to get to a point we cannot report the truth or it will be pulled down. So what do we do to combat their stuff?
That's absolutely right. And I think some of the things that we can do, because it's constant fear propaganda. And the fear is always, they always give ultimatums. So, for example, Bill Gates, there's a fear of bioterrorism. If we don't fill in the blank, which usually involves massive surveillance of the population, stealing our freedom, stealing our rights, in Bill Gates's case, or also with the United Nations. If you don't put us in charge in some way, shape, or form, or follow these sustainable development goals, or implement Agenda 2030, Agenda 21 policies, which literally would revamp our entire society and make us akin to that of a third world, where everybody's forced to drive a certain car, where everybody's forced to eat certain things, which would be an elimination of meat, according to the reports. And not only that, but limited AC. I've done so many reports on that, where they limit what you can use in your home. And I think even the thermostats that they had were like 66 when it's really cold outside. And then in the summer, you're only allowed to set it at 75. These are some crazy numbers. But so much is really going on. And I think you're absolutely right. We need to get something feeling healthy in our bodies, which is why your product there is actually really good. The Minerals Plus, right? Can you tell them about what that does exactly?
Well, a lot of times we need minerals in our body. And so in this world, we get depleted of our minerals. And when we do, we don't feel good. We feel kind of off. And sometimes this affects our eyes, it affects our brain, it affects our functioning of how we do things. So and this is really rampant in type 2 diabetes, because the system and the digestion tracks off and it just messes you up. So with Minerals Plus, you kind of pick those minerals up where they're supposed to be, and it does a lot of good. And of course, the Essential Bs, which is on the same package, the Essential Bs is great for the nervous system. Not that we're nervous with anything going on right now, but it's a great thing for the nervous system to calm you down. And I think this is a time that we need to be calmed down with words like bioterrorism, which, by the way, bio is life. So it's really life terrorism. So what are they telling you? And you have to question their words and their verbiage, because they're very sharp in what they say and how they say it. And it's funny how their stuff gets on air, but the stuff that we want to report, it never makes it to air. You question why this is.
Right, exactly. Everything that happened, like you and I were talking about what happened in Wuhan, a year ago, and now it's just now starting to surface in the mainstream media. Things that you and I have exposed to the public are just now coming out to light. And I think this is why, what we do is so important, getting the real information. And what I like about what you offer, Ronnie, is you not only tell them what's going on, but you offer somewhat of a solution, if you will, where at least you can help us help ourselves keep our bodies healthy and pure. And that's why I encourage everybody, get to getthetea.com. Check out that special that he has. Get the Mineral Plus, get the tea. I really can't encourage it enough. And once you're on it, it's just one of those things you just want to keep around, which I have literally kept around. Another part of that UN report that I just want to highlight is on page 30. And I'm going to throw this up there, but on the report, they recall a major program that was conducted in the 1960s and 1970s. In this program, they actually used mass sterilization and forced policies to limit women's reproductive choices. Obviously, this program is now gone. They've eliminated it. But in its place, they have promoted the idea of contraceptives in order to get the population down. All of this is a part of Agenda 21. So Ronnie, where do you think all this is headed in the future, so to speak? If the globalists have their way, what kind of society could we be looking at?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting that they're basically saying there's too many people on the earth and we can't do this. And I'm thinking, okay, so do you have a great big book? And the book says, when you get over 7 billion people, you're in trouble. And, what makes them on top the rights to say what is right and what is wrong? And that right there is the act of God. And that's when you start acting like God and you're not God, then there's problems. And I think what we're looking at is that the Georgia Stones were kind of a clue. And this was found many years ago. Nobody knows who puts them in. But this population was going to be kind of scaled back to 500 million. So you sit there and you say, okay, 500 million people, that's going to be almost a lonely world, considering we're running almost 8 billion right now. And there's still, you can drive across Arizona and you can drive across Nevada and there's nothing for miles and miles and miles. So don't tell me that we're running out of room and we're running out of this, but we have plenty of room for golf courses around our fancy houses. We have plenty of room to have 3 or 4 houses. That's okay. But when it comes to just having a normal piece of lot and land, no, that's not allowed, because there's too many people on this earth. It's funny because the economy right now, a 2x4 years ago, and not that many years ago, was about $2.28. That same 2x4 today is $11. So what's happening with, and you go to Costco and you look at the prices and they're up 25-30% on food. So you kind of ask yourself what's really going on. And this is really a part of the plan, because when people don't have money to buy food, and this is where we have to counter this. And when people are raising their prices, you go to Get the Tea and you go to the front page, scroll down, guess what? There's 2 specials. And then you can click over and there's a special page. So I'm trying to transfer what's in my warehouse into people's home so they can be feeling smart, they can be feeling good, they can combat whatever stuff's coming as far as viruses or whatever. They can combat it naturally, not going to a pharmaceutical, not going to a doctor's office and waiting in line. My daughter just got sick and she waited 2 hours and she had an appointment. 2 hours after the appointment. This is the beginning. So why not be well and take your stuff and not have to put up with that? That's the thought. And it's on sale. So what more could you get? When it's on sale, when here we go and a 2x4 is up by 400% and my stuff is down because I'm throwing it on sale. Let's transfer what's in my warehouse into your cabinet so you can be well.
Absolutely. And the other thing about that too is we have to keep our bodies nice and healthy today, especially in light of all the fear that we're getting 24/7. And I think that's the bottom line with it. We have the United Nations and the World Health Organization and all these international bodies talking about bringing in some kind of unified global reset of sorts. And we've talked about the global reset. I know the mainstream media wants to pretend it doesn't exist, but it's right there, written by Carl Schwab and all of them. But to reset our economy, and it's a terrifying thought when we don't know exactly what the future is going to look like under that system. Anything other than tyrannical is the idea that we get based off history. And so a lot of that times that can eat at our person, if you will, and add a lot of stress to our lives. And thinking about, what Gates said or what the media is doing. And the media isn't there to tell you the good stories about what's going on. And they're not going to share any good news. They're going to share bad news, more fear, because they get more clicks. That's the way they work. And that's the way they're always going to work. And that's why I encourage everybody, turn that off. Get the real deal of what's going on. And I also like to share positive messages because of that very reason. People get really stressed out. And that's why I encourage you, get these products, detox your body, make sure you're on the right path. So if you are stressed out, you at least have some things to help your body combat that, right?
Absolutely. Olive leaf is a non-special 2 with the T. That's an immune builder. So Allison Advanced is an immune builder. Coral calcium is an immune builder. So you'll notice pre and probiotics, immune builder. Why? Immune builder, how you think getting rid of the fear and taking supplements is going to help you out, because they don't want to help you out. They want residual income on their direction. So we got to combat that.
Well, any concluding thoughts that you want to share with the audience before we go? And then, of course, your website and all that as well, Ronnie.
People are going to laugh at this, but one of the greatest comebacks for getting rid of fear and getting rid of all the garbage is laughter. You would not believe how much healing goes in laughter. So find yourself somebody that makes you laugh and you guys have a good time together, and watch how you feel better. And you might want to throw a couple of supplements in there and you'll be good to go.
Perfect. I like that. See, I laughed. Anyhow, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. All the information that you're looking for on Get the Tea can be found in the description box below. And you can go to their website today as well. And don't forget, you can use the code Lisa to get free shipping as well. Correct, Ronnie?
Absolutely. Lisa in the coupon code, hit apply, and you are good to go.
Awesome. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, and that was Ronnie McMullen signing out.